Try talking to a preteen today, and you'll likely hit a wall. You ask about their day, and you're met with a monosyllabic grunt. Their eyes stay fixed on a screen, tracking the latest group chat drama, and any attempt at real connection just shuts the door. We often write this friction off as a standard feature of adolescence. We assume that rolling their eyes and pulling away is just how young people find their own path. Our culture reinforces this idea. We've come to believe kids must spend nearly all their time socializing with friends to figure out who they are. When parents struggle to manage behavior while kids are glued to the screen, we're told it's just a matter of improving our discipline strategies. But effective parenting relies on a specific emotional environment. A child must be receptive to our guidance before any rule or strategy becomes useful. We haven't lost our ability to raise kids. We've lost our children's orientation. They simply no longer look to the adults in the room to figure out how to act, what to value, or who to be. Humans have an innate drive to attach. Much like a duckling immediately imprinting on its mother, a child needs a compass point. They have a biological requirement to lock onto someone who can give them a sense of direction and warmth. Historically, this orientation was vertical. Culture, customs, and values were handed down from mature adults directly to the next generation. Today, that vertical connection has snapped. We now see a rapid horizontal transfer of culture. Children look to their own age group to dictate their dress, their music, and their values, generating a world that is often alien to their parents. This horizontal shift happens when parents become less accessible. Carl Jung noted that what is missing in a parent-child relationship leaves the deepest scar. For a child, the absence of a strong adult connection creates an unbearable attachment void. A developing brain cannot tolerate that kind of disorientation. In a desperate attempt to find their bearings, children instinctively latch on to the nearest moving object, their peers. This creates a systemic failure. Peers cannot offer the unconditional love or mature guidance a child requires. When a developing brain calibrates its compass to another immature brain, it loses the map to adulthood. True psychological growth requires immense emotional safety. To discover your unique self, you have to feel secure enough to experiment and make mistakes without the fear of being rejected. Peer groups rarely offer that safety. Because children are still immature themselves, their relationships are usually based on conformity. If you show true vulnerability or deviate from the group, you risk instant alienation. This leads to the core paradox of development. Dependence is the engine that drives independence. Think of a child's mind like this two-chambered gauge. The bottom represents their need for attachment, and the top is their capacity for growth. If a child is constantly working to earn approval from peers, their energy is entirely consumed by that bottom chamber. But when an adult provides a secure psychological womb, the dynamic changes. Satiating a child's need for connection releases their energy for growth. When they no longer have to work for love, they are finally free to pursue their own interests and creativity. Children differentiate when they feel invited to rest in our unconditional love. Genuine separation only happens when a child feels deeply connected. Parents cannot force maturation, just as they can't force compliance through authoritarian control. Leaning too heavily on rules often just drives kids deeper into their peer groups. We have to reclaim our position as the North Star. This requires proactively providing more connection and warmth than the child is actively seeking. This is a strategy called collecting our children. It means deliberately rebuilding the interpersonal bridge every time life creates a physical or emotional separation. Collecting happens in quiet routines and shared tasks, like washing the dishes together or offering a warm smile when they walk into the room. It's about expressing delight that they exist, without attaching it to their behavior or their grades. When a child feels completely at home with their adults, their defenses drop. Because their emotional cup is full, they become resilient to peer pressure. The frantic need to conform fades, and their natural curiosity returns. Holding on to our children tightly provides the security they need to eventually let go and face the world on their own. By acting as their safe harbor, we give them the strength to become themselves.